Okay. Can you see the PISA data set? I hope yes. Okay. I hope yes, you can see the PISA data set. See here, I told you last time that this is a PISA data set consisting of 300 records. There are 9 features, and these 9 features includes brand, within brand, identity code, then moisture, protein, fat, ash, sodium, carbohydrate, and calcium. So from moisture to calcium, these are the 7 parameters. These are the 7 measurements. Those are from chemical analysis, food analysis. I told you last time. Now we will take one by one and try to plot it. Let me take only moisture and protein data for A only. I will take only for A. Yes, I will take only for A, and I will insert what is called as scatter plot. So see, this is the scatter plot. You can see very well here the scatter plot. This is the scatter plot of moisture against protein for brand A. Scatter plot for moisture against protein for brand A. So you will see here a cluster of points you can observe here. A cluster of points, right? A cluster of points. Now instead of taking only one what you call as brand, let me take 2 brands. So I will extend my data to B also. So this is up to B, and now I will insert once again a scatter plot. So you can see the difference. You can see here the difference. Earlier you are here. Earlier you are here. Now you are here. So you can see that there are 2 different clusters. There are 2 different clusters, and you can very well conclude that in one brand of pizza, moisture is less but protein is high, and in other case the reverse. So variation in moisture and protein causes this. Now instead of taking 2, I will take all, and let us see what happens. I will take all and see what happens to this. Okay, now let me insert once again the scatter plot. Can you see all my working? Yes. Can you see my working? Whatever I am sharing you, I hope you can see it very well, because I want to give you the live demonstration of this, right? Okay. So see here, I can drag it and I can see very clear plot. See, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, 5, 6, 7. In fact, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. That means there are 10 brands, but you are observing here only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 clusters. This is not your regular scatter plot. Remember, In correlation analysis, we go for scatter plot, scatter diagram, and using that scatter diagram, we conclude that what kind of correlation between them is. This is not your regular scatter diagram. This is a scatter plot showing different clusters, and these different clusters have different combinations of moisture and protein in what is called pizzas. There are 10 pizza brands, but I am observing only 9. So you can see 7 clusters. In fact, there are 10 brands. Now we'll try to find out what actually made it like this. See here, I will try to make it still larger. I will try to make it still larger. Do you see that? Even though we look like this is a one cluster, maybe this is one cluster and this is one cluster, right? And that is why these two clusters are very much close to each other. Their properties are very much close to each other. So brands are two different, but their properties are nearby same. Of course, there is a variation. Now statistically, we have to point out this variation. Statistically, we have to find out the distinction between these two. And that is why when some new pizza comes to you, you have to classify it, whether it is of this type, whether it is of this type, whether it is of this type, of which type. And that problem is called as classification. Now this is we have done with only two moisture and protein, only two variables, two features. In fact, there are many more. So I will go to the Minitab. I will go to Minitab and I will share now Minitab. I will share now Minitab. Okay, can you see this? Just a minute, I'm doing something and you can get it then. Do you see Minitab? Do you see Minitab? Okay. Now see here, I will plot a 3D plot because I have taken now three features: moisture, protein and fat. I have taken three features: moisture, protein and fat. In Excel with XY plane, I have taken only two. Now I can extend my graph with third feature also. So let me take on my, yes.
मिनिटॅबची विंडो दिसत नाही सर.
नाही का?
नाही.
एक मिनिट. आता
हा ओके फाईन.
दिसते ना आता?
हो.
Okay. I think everybody can see Minitab window. Okay. Okay. Now see, this Minitab window has three features: moisture, protein and fat. Do you remember that in Excel I have taken only moisture and protein? Yes. Now I have taken third feature, because I can use Minitab for 3 variables also. I can have a 3D plot here also. So let me go for graph. Let me go for 3D plot, and now I will take one on one axis. So let me take fat on Z axis. Let me take protein on Y axis. Let me take moisture on X axis, and let me plot this. Okay, see this plot. Can you see the plot? Can you see the plot? Please answer me. Can you see the plot? Somebody should unmute and answer me.
Yes, yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, 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 okay. See here, I have taken the data for three brands, and do you see here there are 3 clusters once again. Do you see this? Do you see this? 3 clusters.
Yes, sir.
Now among these 3 clusters, you will find that this one is quite distinct from other 2. This cluster is quite distinct from other 2. But these 2 clusters are seems to be very much close to each other with respect to their properties. Of course, there is a distinction. Of course, there is a variation, but the variation in these 2 is comparatively less as compared to the variation with this. And that is why these 2 clusters are more or less close to each other. Now, when we have a point, for example, here, a new point here, then definitely we'll get a question that whether this pizza belongs to this brand or whether this belongs to this brand. And that is the problem of classification. Now, instead of this, instead of going for 3, we will go for all. We will go for all, and let us see what happens. I will take all data. I will take all data. Okay, see here, I have taken all 300 observations. I have taken all 300 observations. So I have taken data on all 10 pizzas. And now we'll go once again with the same graph. Okay. See here, there are different clusters. See this. This seems to be 1, but it is not 1. This is a 1 cluster. This is another cluster. This is another cluster. Here is another cluster. Here is another cluster. So when we go for more data, when we go for more brands, the data, some data points may get mixed with each other, And now the problem of classification is what? An prospective new data point we have to classify in one of the brand. That means we have to identify whether this pizza is of brand A or brand B or brand C or brand J. For that purpose, there are some techniques we have to apply that are statistical techniques. But we have to understand the basic theory that there are certain groups we can observe through plots, through scatter diagrams. And this scatter diagram, these scatter plots will tell you that yes, there is a kind of a distinction. There is a kind of similarity. There is a kind of mixing of data points. And accordingly, we have to make a certain geometry of classification, certain geometry of what is called as separation. So I have to separate these 2 data sets by either drawing a straight line, by either drawing a curve, whatever it may be. I have to use some mathematical model. I have to use certain mathematical technique by which I can separate these 2 data points. I can separate these 2 data points, and this separation is by means of a separation plane. In 3 dimension, it is a separation plane. We have to define the formula for this. We have to obtain the separation plane on the basis of data available. And this separation plane, once you find out, then points on left side is of one type, points on right side is of another type. So this separation plane will help you to classify on the basis of its side. Points belonging to left side will belong to certain brand. Points on second side will belong to certain brand. Now in this case, in such a situation, there are certain possibilities. There are 4 possibilities. The first possibility is you can classify the pizza of brand A in brand itself. That means it is a correct classification. You can classify the pizza of brand B in brand B itself. That means it is a correct classification. But there are possibilities that a pizza of brand A may get misclassified in brand B, and pizza of brand B may get misclassified in brand A. So this kind of misclassification may create certain problems. So we have to take this care. We have to take this care that our error of classification is minimum. See, you cannot reduce your error of classification to 0. Error of misclassification cannot be 0. You can go it with 0.001, 0.000001. You can take it as small as possible, you can, but it cannot be 0. So error of misclassification is one of the most important concern that we have to take into account while developing a separation plane. Remember this very important thing. Now this error of misclassification is nothing a new concept for you. It is just like a type 1 error and type 2 error. It is just like that. There are 2 different types of errors, and classifying a pizza of brand A in pizza of brand B is one type of error. Classifying pizza of brand B in brand A is another kind of error. So these are the 2 different types of errors, and these 2 errors we now in this machine learning concept we call misclassification. The same concept when you go in medical sector, they are called as sensitivity and specificity. It depends upon what kind of error is more serious for you. In this case, both errors seems to be equally serious, and that is why we call these as errors of misclassification. Now, along with the errors of misclassification, there are few other concepts. One concept further is cost of misclassification. Cost of misclassification. See, when you classify a brand A pizza in brand A itself, it is a correct classification, and so there is no cost associated with it. When you classify brand A in brand B itself, brand B in brand B itself, there is no cost associated with it. But when you classify brand A in brand B or brand B in brand A, there is a possibility of cost involved. For example, let me give you an example from medical science. Suppose a person has no disease, but your test says it's a positive. A person has no disease, but you are saying that your test says that it is a positive test. Now, is it not an error? Yes, because truly speaking, person does not have that disease, but your test wrongly indicates that it's a positive. There is another possibility that a person is having a disease, but your test says that it is negative. So a person with disease, if you declare that it is negative, it's another kind of error. Now among these two errors are not equally serious, because if person is not having a disease, if declared as a positive one, he has to undergo a treatment. But a person having a disease, if declared as a negative one, he doesn't have to go under a treatment. So you can imagine which one is a serious one. And definitely the seriousness differs in both the cases. So there is a effectively seriousness attached with these errors of misclassification. So we have to develop a mathematical model, mathematically separation formula, mathematical function, certain thing which will classify your data points in brand A or in brand B. There is a third thing we have to take care, and that third possibility is we may have some prior information, and we are using that prior information. We are using that prior information. For example, see, for example, nationally, we know that our gender ratio is something 923 per 1000. Gender ratio is what? 923 out of 1000. Now, when you say that the birth of boy and girl is equally likely, you will say that probability of male child and probability of female child is exactly half-half. This is what your theoretical consideration. It's your based on assumption that these two outcomes are equally likely. The births are equal. That is what your assumption goes. And so we can say that probability of male child, probability of female child is half-half. But if you see the data, which data? Data from census. This is a past data. This is a historical data. And this data is very useful. You can say that probability of male child is more and probability of female child is less, because out of 1923 are females. So if you talk in terms of probability, it will be like this: 923 divided by 1923. So probability of female child is 0.48. It's a 48%. And probability of male child is 52%. So this is a historical information. This is a prior information. This is a information from data. This is a information from certain documents. This is information on a large scale data. Such a information we can use for our classification, which will be more better than what we expect. Such a information is called as prior information. So friends, I have discussed you PISA data set. I have demonstrated you PISA data set with 2 variables. I have demonstrated with 3 variables. I have shown you how different types of clusters are formed. I have discussed you how the clusters are quite distinct from each other, or they are very much close to each other. They are confusing one. Probability, type 1 error, type 2 error, misclassification. This concept I have discussed. Further, what I have discussed is, while developing separation plane, while developing mathematical model for classification, we have to take 3 important things into consideration. That is misclassification, second, cost of misclassification, and third, prior information. Based on these 3, we can develop a classification model rather better than without any information. So this is just an introductory lecture on PISA data set. Next lecture I will give you the mathematical approach of developing such a model. For that we need a one image that I will display you next time. We need certain mathematical notations that I will explain you next time. But to begin with, we are going to develop a linear model, a linear function, a linear separator, and then you can go for any complex one. Okay, so linear separator we'll study next time. Now, if you have any doubt, if you have any question, you can ask me. I know that this lecture will be useful for your completion of assignment. Is it right? Okay. So now if you have any question, you can unmute one by one and you can ask, or you can put on chat also. You can put on chat also. Any question? Any question?
हॅलो सर.
Yes.
सर तुम्ही ते असाइनमेंट मध्ये क्वेश्चन सांगितला होता पहिला, तो समजला नाही नेमकं त्यामध्ये काय करायचं.
त्याच्यामध्ये काय करायचं? Yes. He is asking the question. In assignment, I have asked you something about the importance of features on our health. Okay.
सॉरी
साधी
सर.
गोष्ट आहे, साधी गोष्ट आहे,
सर
साधी गोष्ट आहे. ऐकून घ्या आता. अनम्यूट हो. साधी गोष्ट अशी आहे की आपल्या शरीरासाठी प्रोटीनचं आवश्यकता का आहे, फॅटची आवश्यकता का आहे, कार्बोहायड्रेटची आवश्यकता का आहे. कारण आपण जेव्हा कुठलाही पदार्थ खाण्याचा विचार करतो त्यावेळेस त्याच्यातले इन्ग्रेडियंट महत्वाचे आहेत. असं समजा की तुमच्या पुढे मी 3 पदार्थ ठेवलेत. एक पदार्थ ठेवला मुरमुऱ्याचं बाउल, दुसरा पदार्थ ठेवला शेंगदाण्याचं बाउल, आणि तिसरा पदार्थ ठेवला काजूचं बाउल. 3 बाउल ठेवले तुमच्या पुढे मी. कोणकोणते? मुरमुरे, शेंगदाणे आणि काजू. आता मला सांगा, टू विच यू विल गिव्ह मोर प्रेफरन्स. तुम्ही शेंगदाण्याच्या बाउलमध्ये हात घालणार का काजूच्या बाउलमध्ये हात घालणार का मुरमुऱ्याच्या बाउलमध्ये हात घालणार? कशात हात घालणार? मॅडम कोणत्या बाउलमध्ये हात घालणार तुम्ही? यस, प्रश्न कोणी विचारला होता त्याने उत्तर द्या आता. काजूच्या. राईट. कारण का? तुम्हाला माहिती आहे काजू इज रिच इन इन्ग्रेडियंट्स. काजूमध्ये खूप सारे प्रोटीन्स आहेत, खूप सारे विटॅमिन्स आहेत. म्हणजे शरीराला पोषक असणारे द्रव्य काजूमध्ये भरपूर प्रमाणामध्ये आहेत, पौष्टिक आहे ते, आणि म्हणून तुम्ही काजूच्या बाउलमध्ये हात घालणार. बरोबर आहे का नाही? हे मुरमुऱ्याच्या बाउलकडे तुम्ही सगळ्यात शेवटी बघणार, हातच लावणार नाही तुम्ही सुरुवातीला त्याला. हे काय सांगतं? दिस इज अ सिंपल कॉमन अंडरस्टँडिंग, कॉमन सेन्स. हा कॉमन सेन्स काय सांगतो? तर कुठलाही पदार्थ खात असताना, चूज करत असताना, सिलेक्ट करत असताना आपण त्याची न्यूट्रिशनल व्हॅल्यू पाहत असतो. न्यूट्रिशनल व्हॅल्यू पाहत असतो. तुमच्या माहितीसाठी म्हणून सांगतो, 1972 साली जेव्हा महाराष्ट्रामध्ये आणि देशामध्ये दुष्काळ पडला होता त्यावेळेस रोजंदारीवरती कामासाठी म्हणून रोजगार हमी योजना सुरू झाली. आणि ह्या रोजगार हमीवरती रस्त्याची कामं मोठ्या प्रमाणावरती केली गेली. त्याच्यामध्ये खूप लोक कामाला यायची. या लोकांना गव्हर्नमेंट सुकडी नावाचा एक पदार्थ द्यायचं. सुकडी मी स्वतः खाल्लेली आहे ती सुकडी. अतिशय पौष्टिक सुकडी असायची. ह्या सुकडीच्या न्यूट्रिशनल व्हॅल्यूचा स्टडी कोणी केला असेल तर डॉक्टर P.V. सुखात्मे, ज्यांचं तुम्ही सॅम्पलिंग थेअरीचं पुस्तक वाचता. त्या स्टॅटिस्टिशियननी, बायो स्टॅटिस्टिशियननी, बायो इन्फॉर्मेटिशियननी, फूड सायंटिस्टनी सुकडीच्या न्यूट्रिशनल व्हॅल्यूचा स्टडी केला. अँड ही प्रपोज्ड ए कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ इन्ग्रेडियंट्स इन द सुकडी. आणि मग ती सुकडी अनेक ठिकाणी वाटली गेली. कारण दगड फोडायचं काम करायचं, खडी व्हायचं काम करायचं, खूप कष्टाची काम करायची म्हणल्यानंतर शरीराला पौष्टिक काहीतरी पाहिजे आणि म्हणून सुकडी दिली जायची. आपण आजही शाळेमध्ये जेव्हा आहार दिला जातो त्याला आपण म्हणतो पोषण आहार. पोषण आहार हा शब्द आहे, पहा, आहार हा शब्द नाहीये, पोषण आहार. कारण आपल्याला तिथे गॅरंटी द्यायची असते की जे खाद्य आम्ही देतोय त्याच्यामध्ये पौष्टिकता आहे. आणि म्हणून या पिझ्झा मधले जे इन्ग्रेडियंट्स आहे त्यांच्या पौष्टिकतेबद्दलचा तुम्हाला स्टडी करायचा आहे. त्यांची पौष्टिकता जी आहे, प्रोटीन कशासाठी लागतं आपल्याला, फॅट कशासाठी लागतं आपल्याला, कार्बोहायड्रेट कशासाठी लागतात आपल्याला, कॅल्शियम कशासाठी लागतात आपल्याला, याच्यासाठी म्हणून तो पहिला असाइनमेंटचा प्रश्न तुम्हाला दिलेला आहे. इट्स अ जनरल आन्सर, but it will add some knowledge, some common sense knowledge in yourself. Next question. If you are happy with this, go to the next question. Any other question? Any other question? Okay. I think there is no question from anyone. I think there is no question from anyone. So I must thank all of you. Thank you for attendance. Thank you for attendance. Okay.